Hey guys, this is CSDX, but you can call me Sean, and do you like Crash Bandicoot? Do you like how the gameplay, or his games, are consistent but still fun, even when it gets challenging and tough, but to a point that it is more so your own fault and not so much the game's? Well, do you want Aku Aku to be an orangutan instead? Crash Bandicoot is largely a game series that I admittedly didn't 100% get into. My first exposure for so long was through my sister's PS1, where I'd usually watch her play Crash Bandicoot Warped, even though her dad failed to understand that memory cards were now required, at that time anyway, just to save our games. I also played the PS1 behind her back, but to be fair, even with the PS1, she never really cared much for video games. I still don't know why my dad bought her a PS1. She only played as Tails in Sonic games because he looked cute. And actually, I don't blame her. Look at this floofy. I love him. For years since the PS1 days, and somewhat even during the PS1 days, Crash Bandicoot has had a rather mixed history. We had a terrible party game in Crash Bash, two great GBA titles, a terrible GBA crossover with Spyro, an okay platformer in Wrath of Cortex, a fun albeit unfinished game in Twinsanity, two kart racers that I admittedly don't know the full consensus of, but are considered far less good than Crash Team Racing, and then Crash Boom Bang literally killed the original canon. Well, I say that, but funnily enough, Crash of the Titans is more of a soft reboot that started development after the dev team Radical Entertainment finished up Crash Tag Team Racing, which released in 2005, while Crash Boom Bang came out in 2006, and this game, Cash on the Titties, came out in 2007. This is going to be a disaster, isn't it? So we start things off with Crash and the gang just hanging out. The redesigns though, the only one I don't really like so far is Crunch Bandicoot, and he's also Mr. T for some reason.
Make a sucker!
At long last, the world will have a way to recycle butter!
What? Anyway, Dr. Cortex shows up and kidnaps both Coco and Aku Aku, freezes Crunch in a block of ice of some kind, and Crash has to save the day. Just to get this out of the way, Crunch is stuck here, you can't help him, and he never gets to show more of his brand new character, which, given how little real development he's had prior, is probably for the best? I don't know, I actually am only going by what everyone else said. And now we start the game, and it's a beat 'em up of sorts. Yeah, you largely run around beating up enemies and progressing when the game lets you, except there's one more catch to the gameplay that helps it stand out a tad, and that's monster jacking. Did I really just say that out loud? You know, I know my channel is not exactly monetized at the moment, but will talking about monster jacking actually cause it to never reach that point? Simply put, you beat up big bad monsters known as Titans until the button prompt pops up, and then you take control of them with the help of Aku Aku. Yeah, he's kind of promoted from hit point to gameplay mechanic of sorts, which does work out as Crash also now has a health bar, which Wumpa Fruit now helps restore, as you use them to control monsters to beat up smaller minions as well as other monsters to jack them, because going by skins you unlock that are less skins and more so just lame costumes, the game encourages you to go from monster to monster. Oh, hang on. Okay, so I got that a little bit wrong. It turns out if you wear the costume of a specific monster, at least going by someone on Reddit, that could be anything, you know, you can actually one-hit daze the, not one-hit KO, but one-hit daze the Titan and then jack them immediately. Okay, I ain't gonna lie, that's a neat little reward for jacking multiple monsters. I feel so terrible talking about it like that. As for the special collectible, you collect something called Mojo, which tallies a score and is really used for upgrading your health, your slide duration, which really only involves using Aku Aku as a surfboard. What? And the spin attack! Hell yeah, Crash is back! Oh god, Crash is dead again! Oh my fucking god, you can't be serious. I get that this is a soft reboot, but you can't just take away what makes Crash gameplay what it is. Oh, hang on, this game technically isn't a soft reboot, as Tiny Tiger, who sounds like Mike Tyson, and I swear that was only done cause his name is Tiny when the entire point of him being tiny is to be ironic about his size, ends up saying he holds a slight grudge over not being included in the last game, so now it makes even less sense to just decide Crash gets too dizzy from spinning. Funnily enough, and I just wanted to mention this tidbit, the last game in question can either be Boom Bang or Tag Team Racing, because while he doesn't show up at all in the latter, he only shows up as a cameo in the minigame in the former. I just wanted to mention this because I like this neat bit of info, but he should also be grateful he was in neither one. Oh, I bet I can get this exploding box to damage an enemy. This game costs $40 on the Xbox 360 store.
Oops!
Okay, after coming far enough, we see Cortex and Coco along with, what? Wait, is that supposed to be Uka Uka?
Deal with Crash and my pathetic brother. I will take the Mojo and Bandicoot female back to our base.
Oh no. Uncle Phil, no! You had to have known what this was about. You had to have known how this was gonna go, even if you only voice acted for 4 video games where none of which is this game. Wait, what? So who voices this Claude? John DiMaggio? As in Bender of Futurama? Huh. So I ain't gonna lie, I kinda am having some semblance of fun with this game. Hell, the humor tends to end up being surprisingly good here and there. Even with Engine, who sounds awful and is a character adjustment that I don't know whether I like or not. Just look at this scene for when Cortex is replaced with Nina by Uka Uka.
Thank you, Master!
What do you mean?
Thank you again! Hotter than the first!
Allow me to announce your replacement, Nina Cortex.
Oh, come on! He didn't even have a cup!
Look, I'm sorry, but that last one was genuinely freaking funny. So with Cortex replaced by Nina, Crash and Aku Aku make it to Tiny Tiger. Oh, by the way, the boss fights are barely even boss fights. What a shock. That is just more monster jacking. And Aku teleports us to the beach where— wait, what? Why didn't you just teleport us to Cortex's castle in the first place if you could do that this whole time, you wooden chimp? Okay, honestly, I'm sorry to say this, but I am actually kind of struggling to come up with proper stuff to say about this game. It really is largely the same gameplay for each episode over and over. Granted, there are challenge rooms that you can find and enter that reward you with the ability to replay the challenge room again. Are you actually joking? Though I can say that I wanted to make sure that I actually beat this game and see through it to a very end. At least until the boss fight with Uka Uka, who uses the Evolvo Ray that's now Mojo powered, which is why all the monsters exist. Oh, I forgot to mention, they adjusted the origin story a tad, but trust me, I don't think it matters anymore since Crash got rebooted to further turn himself into a monster. Albeit still with his mindset intact compared to the other monsters, and you have to stop him by destroying the generators that helped cause this to happen, and you have to jack him since he's a monster now and not exactly just a mask anymore. How the hell does that work?
You're only winning because I'm not used to having legs. Long, supple legs.
Okay, I'm sorry. That actually was really good. The problem is you have to jack a monster in order to damage Uka enough to jack him, all while other monsters are hounding on you with attacks, tornadoes, electric bullets, etc., to the point that your health and your monster's health will be drained in a matter of seconds. Like, how is this fair? How in the holy mother of ass is this fair? I only made it to the third phase, aka one machine left, and the monsters as well as Uka were relentless in their attacks. There was about as much breathing room as a side concert in 2012 at a small mall. True story, by the way. I ended up opting to save and quit the game to try and calm down, but then it hit me. What if it didn't actually save the game up till that checkpoint? Nah, that can't be right. I mean, I'll give credit where it's due. The game is insanely generous with its checkpoints, even during the boss battles. So surely they would make it the same with the save and quit mechanic, right?
Episode 17, Adult Edumacation.
Fuck! 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 Okay, fine, I'll try it again. 7th time's the charm after all. Okay, make that 8. Yeah, I don't know how or why, but I beat Uka this time. We beat the final boss. Cortex and Nina get away because of course they do, and credits roll. I said credits roll. Okay, I guess the credits don't roll. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so in all fairness, the game is okay. It's not great, it's not bad, it's somewhere in the middle, just okay. It's not monotonous enough to feel like a chore to play, but it can get a bit boring here and there. It is a functional game though. There were really no technical issues that I had for the most part, aside from my controller glitching out for some reason. Maybe it's because my 360 is modded, I don't know. Now the graphics do look alright, the controls are really responsive and tight, the music is incredibly forgettable, and the gameplay is just an overall meh. Also, the game is only like 5 hours long. Maybe 4 if you're good enough. Take that how you will. However, if you really want to play this game, I recommend the PS2 version specifically. Yeah, I can't speak for the Wii version as I haven't seen footage of that boss fight at the time of this recording from the Wii version specifically, but at least going by this footage from Prosafia Gaming, aka that one asshole that spoils every game ever in a thumbnail and refuses to stop that because he's, I don't know, stubborn maybe? Or there. I actually don't know if they're a guy or not. There are far less enemies to deal with in a Uka Uka boss fight, at least in the PS2 version, and apparently it's because of hardware limitations. Hell, at least going by Metacritic, the PS2 version is a bit better, so maybe I got too greedy for Xbox Gamerscore and ended up dealing with a bad boss fight because of it. There is one thing that confuses me though. Cat Icarus outright confirmed that there is a GBA version of this game, but not only does Wikipedia not know about it, but Metacritic doesn't even have it listed either. Funnily enough, the fandom site for Crash Bandicoot labeled Bandipedia, I think it was like crashbandicoot.fandom.com, maybe? Does in fact mention it. Go figure. The fandom site that people hate so much has better info than the Wikipedia site that people also weirdly hate so much. And on top of that, the GBA and DS versions of this game, they have their own original story and are treated as their own separate thing. I don't have to look at those versions too. I can't have time to play more video games. I got video games to play and also depression and loneliness to sleep off.